This week, I just want to sit with you for a moment and remind you of something that can be really easy to forget. Luke 12, verse 6 to 7 says in the King James Version, "Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 farthings, and not one of them is forgotten before God? But even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not, therefore, ye are of more value than many sparrows." Now, I want you to really think about that for a second. Jesus is talking about sparrows, something small, something most people wouldn't pay attention to. Back then, they were sold for almost nothing. People didn't see them as important. And yet, he says not a single one is forgotten by God. Not one. And then he brings it closer, much closer. He says, even the hairs on your head are numbered. That means God's awareness of you isn't just surface level. It's not distant. It's not general. It's detailed. And I think sometimes in real life, that's the part we struggle to hold on to. Because life can get busy. Days start to run together. You're handling responsibilities, showing up where you need to show up, doing what needs to be done. And somewhere in all of that, it can start to feel like you're just moving through it all quietly. Like no one really sees the full picture. Maybe you've had moments like that, where you've been doing your best, but it feels like it's going unnoticed. Where you've been praying, but it feels quiet. Where you've been carrying things, and you haven't really said much about it. And without even realizing it, a thought can slip in. Does this even matter? That's why this verse is so important, because it gently corrects that thought. God doesn't overlook the small details of your life. He doesn't miss the quiet moments. He doesn't lose sight of you just because everything around you feels ordinary. If he is aware of every single sparrow, if not one of them slips past his attention, then there is no part of your life that he is unaware of. None. Then Jesus says something that really settles everything. Fear not, therefore. In other words, because this is true, because you are seen, because you are known, because you are valued, you don't have to live with that quiet fear of being overlooked. You don't have to question whether your life matters. It does. Not because of how everything looks right now. Not because of how others respond to you. Not because of what you've accomplished. But because God says you have value. And he doesn't measure your worth the way people do. He's paying attention to things that no one else sees. The effort, the patience, the way you keep showing up, the moments you choose to trust him, even when it's quiet. All of it matters to him. So this week, when your thoughts start to drift in the wrong direction, bring yourself back to this. You are not unseen. You are not overlooked. God knows every detail in you. He sees where you are. He knows what you're carrying. He understands what's been on your mind. And He hasn't missed a single moment. So walk into this week with that in your heart. You don't have to strive to be noticed. You don't have to prove your worth. You can move forward knowing that the God who sees even the smallest things sees you completely. And that alone is enough to bring a kind of peace that doesn't depend on everything else being figured out. Your journey of faith starts with a spark. Let wisdom light the way.